Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? It's Renee and Monica here with 22 Social. Let's show our faces here. It's hot. I don't know if you're having the snow stuff still going on, or it is hot here. You're frozen. Oh, you're frozen. So let me see. Let's move him out of the way. Renee, maybe go back out and come back in because you're frozen and I can't hear you. But how's everyone doing? Today we're going to talk about something I'm pretty passionate about. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on a few issues. But we're going to be talking about how to drive more organic traffic to your offers, whether that's your paid offers, your free offers. And there you are. Let's see if you can come back. Oh, there's three of you.
You got it.
There we go.
There you
go. So what were you saying? Because I didn't hear you. I just saw your frozen face.
Oh, I said it was 90 degrees here. So, hey,
Okay.
Sarah from the UK. Yeah, so it's getting a little warm, but I'd rather have 90 degrees than.
Oh no, not me. I've got my AC blasting, and I guess it's maybe the spot in the room I'm at. This is summertime, so we're getting close. We're having summer weather today, so I feel like it's summertime already. But
yeah, well, it gets pretty hot in Sacramento, right? But they're 110 or something.
Those are like our record numbers. I think our 116 was our record. So, but we do get triple digits in the summer. Not always, but good number of days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hot.
Wow.
And it's dry.
Okay, well,
hey, Deshaun. Deshaun's here too. Awesome.
Hey, it's cold in the mountains up here, so I'm getting some snow.
I don't have all that cool stuff today. Maybe one day.
I posted. I want to do. I want some feedback on this and see what you guys think. The ones that are watching. Yeah. We get questions asked a lot. A few weeks ago, you did something, Monica, with Facebook streaming options, which is awesome. What I've had people ask and we haven't done is, okay, so I have this one-on-one meetings with clients. What do I do? What do I use? What's my process for that? So I'm thinking that maybe next week we'll do something like that.
Okay. But today I think a lot of people were surprised because I went in the back, I showed them like StreamYard, I logged in. Luckily I have my account and 22 Social account, so I was able to screen share the back end incognito. Yeah. And I use it for my one-on-ones because I can, we don't actually broadcast anywhere. We could just be doing it right here. But if I wanted to, I could send a copy to YouTube or something. So it's nice. Yeah,
it's cool. Right now we're broadcasting to Facebook page or Facebook group and YouTube kind of as a sort of backup. And also people Google there, search there sometimes. I'm going to talk about that today because YouTube's a good source for traffic, believe it or not. Or if you have a YouTube channel, maybe not utilizing it well. Yeah. So we'll definitely talk about that. And Mark, I saw your message. I got an answer pending for you, so I'll get back to you today. Sorry, it's been a while. I think he messaged me earlier today. So yeah, I know I saw it. I'm gonna get back to you as soon as I can. But anyway, so that, and also I've been doing. You've seen me do this. I think use a whiteboard. We used to have a whiteboard in the office, and we'd just point the camera at it, and we would fight the glare, and it was a mess.
You have that gadget, right?
So now I ended up, a couple of years ago, I ended up buying an iPad. That's the only thing I use it for. I sometimes forget I have an iPad. But for that, that's what I use it for. It makes a really good whiteboard. And people have asked questions about that. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. Maybe I'll do a poll in the group. Hey, Tony. But I'll show how that works. It's pretty cool. I'm surprised when people don't do it. It's pretty easy.
I did a presentation, and I was going to make it into a course, but it was all based on Google Hangouts, so you know how that goes. But it's a few years back. It's still one of the more popular ones in my membership is on how presenting, like using Google Slides and dual monitors, and how I do all that, like the back end.
Oh, that'd be
and
great.
I actually, So we should probably, it might definitely needs to be updated because I wasn't using StreamYard then, but. Things like that, be good for this time right now, I think. So that your whiteboard tool, I used to teach like with dual screens or without, but at this point it's like if that's what you're doing, you really need to go for the dual screen.
Yeah,
really
they're $150 for I think I saw a 27-inch for like $180. I'm like 27-inch. I'm like, wow. So if you don't need to do
I think I got mine for like $60. So,
Oh, there you go. It's even better.
It's a pretty nice size. It's bigger than my laptop screen. So just gotta, I
so
think right now
I want to learn how to use an iPad for a whiteboard. Okay. So we'll take a few episodes. Hi, Dan. Hi, Clara. We'll take a couple episodes to go through a few things like that because I know it's a hot item.
Registered at to2s.com Dream, like where if you're already there and you don't see a gate when you go there, you're in. You're in and you just roll over every week. So we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. She's asking about the contests for the drawing that we give away. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you should be in. If not, listen in. I'll tell you exactly how to do it at the end. All right.
Did I freeze? Can you see me?
Yeah, you're just a little delayed.
I froze, huh?
So no, you're not frozen. You're still there.
That's weird.
And I can hear you, but
I'm gonna let Monica run. Monica's gonna run the show today. I'm gonna reset my internet and see if I can come back towards the end because it's giving me a lot of issues. I've done it before, and I apologize.
Well, maybe you can help with like monitoring the comments and all that stuff. That'd be helpful.
Yeah. Oh, I'll do that for sure. All right.
All right. Cool. All right, guys. So we have, like I said, driving more organic traffic to your offers. So, and I use the word offers because it doesn't necessarily have to be something paid. It could be like your lead gen or something, but whatever you're creating, especially if you're using 22 Social, we're going to talk about how you can do that organically. And I'll reference an episode. It was episode 108 that you'll see that reference in a few of the slides where I go into a lot of detail about some of the topics I'll talk about today. So I'm not going to cover those in detail, but definitely check that out. That was just in general on organic reach. But let me see. I don't have that up here. Let's make sure that, we've got everyone, especially those who are new, that you are in the right place. We're talking to dream builders here today. So are you a dream builder? Here's kind of a way you can figure this out, right? So if these things apply to you, then yes, you are, and please keep watching. Number one, you're passionate about both your products and services and the people that you help with those products and services. You really want to build a dream lifestyle. You're doing what you love, and you want to find a way to make that a reality so you can live that dream and have a business that's going to fund that dream. This business should be something you want to build online, okay? So we focus on online business, something that you can use to create stability and recurring income, and ultimately stop trading time for money. With more money and more time, you can help more people. So we're called 22 Social for a reason. The power of Facebook and social is really good. So by leveraging that power and connecting with those that need your help, you can build a community that's going to create that lasting impact. And, those who need your help, you can help them, and they'll be able to reach other people and help. So you can scale and really reach more people without stretching yourself too thin. And finally, dream builders are committed, right? You've got to be willing to put in the time and the work. If you're truly passionate, willing to do that, to create this dream business so you can experience that lasting impact, that income, lifestyle fulfillment, and really have long-term success, not something that's just living in your head or, one day I'll do it, but really start as soon as right now to really start getting that going. So in order to do that, usually when you're going to build anything, right, or start anything, you want to have some type of guide or a roadmap. So we have the Dream Builder Blueprint, specifically for dream builders, a blueprint to kind of keep you on the path and show you, what are the right steps to take at the right time, and really build on these blocks here. So number one, the dream, right? What is that dream? What does it look like? Really picture that. What is your dream to you? How many income streams are coming in? How, what is it that you're doing day to day? What does that day look like? Are you working from home? How many hours? Which days? Really thinking about that. And in that business, that's going to give you this lifestyle. What is it that you uniquely are delivering? What is your expertise or your special product or service that you can uniquely do? You're doing you best, but what can only you do? What's unique about you? And who are the people that really could benefit? Like, who's that ideal client that could really, needs the solution that you offer, right? And would be a great recipient of whatever transformation you're here to deliver. And make sure it's something you can promise to commit to, because you're going to do this regularly. So really figure that out and then start offering that, right? So if it's, blogging, or maybe you're building a course, or you're trying to do some live streaming or whatever that is. If you're really good with coaching and you want to do one-on-one calls or things like that, start inviting people to take you up on those offers, even your free offers, but specifically your paid offers, something that you're selling for a fee, or a service or a product that you can deliver digitally, because we're building this online. And then reach out to people that trusting prospects that could use your solution. They're struggling with that one problem that you're really good at solving, or that you have the perfect product or service to help with. And let them know what you have, and say, hey, here's what I've got. I thought you'd be interested in this. And really offer, invite them. We like using the word invite because we want them to take you up on this offer. When you do that, and whether that's just a small group of one-on-one calls that you're going to make to kind of get feelers out, or invite people in to be maybe the founders or beta testers of your new course or membership, you're going to learn valuable feedback, and that's going to help you in the next stage. You're going to figure out, is my pricing right? Is my delivery method right? What are maybe the more core products that you need, or what you can build on? Is there some missing educational component? When you have all that, you'll be able to create content, more content, products, services, and things like that. And it's an important step, because you will be able to start helping people now by inviting them to take you up on your offer, but you'll also learn valuable feedback. So then you'll know, is all of that stuff correct, so that you can put systems in place. So instead, rather than jumping to systems and trying to build something and automate it, do this invite stage and have a few people take you up on that offer. And this is where you'll be able to continuously nurture. And by that, we mean, deliver value on an ongoing basis, systematically, continuously, something that people, are excited to receive, and they're getting continued help. And you're really nurturing a group of either your current clients and members, or maybe some prospects, or even the people that you haven't met yet, but this group will reach. And that's really going to help you scale to that next level, which is grow and reach those people, right? You'll know what to do to go take it to the next level, right? What are the attraction strategies I can add now to really grow this? Do I need to add new product streams, or expand on what I have, build on the existing, or add new, evolve? You can really focus on advertising here, or beef up your advertising if you're already doing it. Lots of things to do, but each stage has its own, set of things that happen. And it's really great to be able to do them in a particular order. So if you're a little bit stuck, like, I don't know where to start, that's a lot. It is. And I'll share with you some resources of where you can get more information about each one of these steps, and including where to exactly start specifically where you could start, and what step you need to take specifically for you, because we're all a little bit different. So driving more organic traffic to your offers, whatever those offers may be. And I want to start with two really important tips. I call them my top 2 tips. I've got a lot of them. You guys are always hearing me talk about different tips and things that I have, but these 2 are super important. And so we'll focus the bulk of today on these 2 things. Number 1, if you haven't heard me say this, then we've probably never met before, but always, always, always use the Smartlink. Awesome, Deshaun, thanks. So you're going to use that like in your cover images, in your descriptions, in your email signatures, in your about sections of your pages or your websites or your groups or anywhere. And I went into a lot of detail on this in, I believe it was, well, there's episode 86 was a while back. I did a whole thing on just the Smartlink, but 108, I also talked about that. So I will put references for all of that in there. And the other thing is, forget about the Facebook page tabs. These are the tabs that you see on your Facebook page on desktop. I know that's a real pain point for a lot of people. Facebook's got some issues where they're not, allowing you to install tabs, and that's worldwide, right? It's not just 22 Social. Any software that uses the Facebook page tabs is affected by that. So we're going to have some solutions for you, but those are the 2 things. If you take away from today, is to stop focusing on the tabs and always use the Smartlink. And I'm going to show you a few ways to do that. So let me first talk about why this is super important and why I really stress this, and why I always sound like a broken record when I'm talking about the Smartlink. So like I said, we currently have an issue where, getting apps to show up as tabs, but many users are using the system and having great results, getting hundreds of members, making a lot of money right now. not focusing on the tabs. They don't even have tabs on their page, and they're still doing really well. And so what I want people to really focus on, and the reality of it is that the traffic doesn't come from the page tabs. And you'll see it rarely ever comes from there. What you want to do is get in the habit of putting your smart link of your app, and I'll show you exactly where you can find that, in the right place and sharing it at the right times, and continuously using that and getting in a really good habit of doing that. The reason is you don't know where people are clicking from, and that smart link is optimized. It's called smart for a reason. It's responsive if they're on a tablet or mobile or desktop. It knows that, and it will show them the correct version of your offer, your page that has your offer, based on where they're clicking. And you can't guess. As marketers, we always think people are visiting our pages, looking at our tabs, and they're in front of their computer, which is not the case. Maybe right now because everybody's home, but in the perfect world, most people are on mobile, if not, even the marketers are. But it's only us as marketers, when we're building our pages, we're looking at web pages, we're looking at our desktop pages, but most people are on mobile and they're scrolling their news feed. They're not even going to your page, regardless of whether they're on mobile or desktop. They are not even going to the page. They're just scrolling through their news feed. Almost no one is visiting Facebook pages. And that's okay. I don't know if anyone visits my page, and I'm doing just fine. We don't know how many people visit the 22 Social page. We actually don't even focus a lot on that because we're always sharing the smart link to, for example, for today's live. So people are not visiting your pages. And the reason, this is kind of hard for us to think about, but if you ask yourself, when's the last time you visited somebody's page? Pick like a retailer or something, your favorite store, or even somebody whose posts you get in your newsfeed. Like I see Mari Smith's posts or Social Media Examiner, some of the people that I follow or I have, as favorites. I don't ever go to their page and just see what did they post today or what does their cover picture look like or anything like that. So start thinking like that, because we're going to focus on a few things today. And I'm going to show you, I kind of break it out into little 3 steps of course, I'm going to go back to always using that smart link and really talking about the importance of it. I'm going to go into how and where to use your smart link. So where you should be using it and how, some tips on best practices for that. And also best practices when you're designing your app that has your offer, that you're sharing your smart link to that app, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that. And if I have time, I'll do some live examples, but I was able to put together some pretty good screen shots that should get the message across. But definitely ask questions if you have them. I will be doing my best here. Renee's awesome. He's monitoring the comments. So cool. So before we get into the smart link and using it, I want to make sure everybody knows where to get to their smart link. So this is really important. Your smart link, every app install, every 22 Social page you create, whether it's gated, ungated, published, unpublished, the minute you install it, it generates a smart link. So at the top of your app on your app dashboard, and if you can't find this, don't worry, I'll show you in the next slide. But go to your app and click that link icon. It'll say Smart Link Settings. When you click on that, this little window will pop up and you'll see your app nickname if you have one. If not, it'll be blank. And then different versions of your smart link. Focus on the permanent smart link. Vanity's nice, but if you change the nickname or you change your username, that link changes. The permanent never changes. So get in the habit of that. I personally like to use the all numeric, but I'll give you some resources to where I go into details on that, because I'll talk till I'm blue in the face on that. Most important thing is just to remember to use the smart link. Extra bonus if you use the permanent. It's just a little bit easier to manage. So the permanent, it'll say their permanent smart link. Now, if you can't get to your app and you're like, I don't see that little link icon, I don't know what you're talking about, then just go to to2s.com/account. If you have a 22 Social account and you're logged into Facebook, when you go to that link, you will see a page like this. You'll automatically be on the My Apps tab of your account. If it's not there instantly, give it a few seconds, it will load. If you're like me, where I have hundreds and hundreds of apps, just take a few seconds to load. But you'll automatically be there. You can get to this My Apps from your dashboard as well. But if you go to to2s.com/account, this is where you end up. And then just look for your app in the list of apps below. You can click on it to go to it and then follow the steps that I just explained. Or right here on this page, there's the link icon. So you'll see the little link right here. If you click on that, it'll pop up that same window I was talking about, and you can get your smart link from there. All right, so want to make sure that I got that out of the way. I've mentioned that a few times, but that's really important. And that's if I'm going to focus on, get that SmartLink in the habit, I'm going to make sure you guys know where it is. Now, if you're creating domain vanity redirects, right? Like mydomain.com/join now or whatever, and you're forwarding those to SmartLinks, great. Just make sure you forward to the SmartLink. And some of you may be doing this very well and be going, okay, great, awesome. I've been doing that. What is there any other way? And that's where the problem is. Some people are using, they'll just copy the browser link in their browser, especially if you are from the old group, where we had the tabs. So if you don't have tabs, don't worry. But I am talking to a few people who maybe still have Facebook tabs or are using them. If you copy the link in the browser and you share that, you're going to see a content not found or this page doesn't exist. I think this is what it looks like on mobile, but on desktop, it has like a thumbs down or like a Band-Aid or something on the thumb saying the link's broken. It will tell you that. And the difference is if you copy the browser link, they're not mobile optimized. So if somebody clicks that link and you share it and you don't know, again, back to that first point, you don't know where they're clicking from. They could be clicking, you may have sent an email from your desktop thinking everybody's on their desktop and this is what it looks like. They're on their phone, they click that link and they see this because they're on mobile. If they use the SmartLink, then you'll see the nice, pretty version of it. So I did go into details about this on episode 108, so I'm not going to cover it too much, but you'll see some of the same slides that I used there. You don't want to share the app link if you're wondering what the heck is that. If you have tabs, when you're on your app tab, you're seeing that link in the browser. That's the link I don't want you to use. Just ignore that completely because over 97% of users are on mobile. Again, you don't know where they're coming from. So click on the link, get your SmartLink, get in the habit of using that link, not the app link. And again, I'm talking to people who are using tabs. If you're not, don't worry about it. You don't even have to worry about that slide. Just don't copy from the browser. Get in the habit of using the SmartLink. Now, these Facebook links, like the app links for all third-party apps, not just 22 Social, but everywhere, they're not mobile optimized at all. That's why 22 Social created the SmartLink, because these are not mobile optimized. They don't even show up on mobile. So, and that's a Facebook thing, not a 22 Social thing. But the call to action button, however, is very prominent. So if somebody were to go to your page, like I said, people do not go to Facebook pages. You probably have never gone to a business page, especially on mobile. Maybe you have, but chances are you haven't. The prominence of that link there, the button, is very big compared to everything else on that page. And sometimes if you don't have any other links, it takes up the whole side. So I'm going to go back because I think I did that a little too quick. That Learn More button is the same Learn More button in your desktop cover photo, okay? Now, the reason being is that, go forward. Remember how I said you don't know where they're clicking from. So someone may have shared the link that you gave someone. You don't know how it was shared. It may not be you that sent it out. You could say, oh, well, I know because I posted it here, but that person may have copied and pasted or forwarded an email. You also, they're most likely they're on mobile. So a lot of people are on mobile. And if they're seeing it, even if they are seeing it on Facebook, they're most likely seeing it in their newsfeed. So think about how you use Facebook. You're scrolling through your newsfeed and you see something cool, a video, a meme or something, right? And you click on it. You're not going to whoever's meme that is or video, you're not going and visiting their page every day. So super important to know that. And again, when they're scrolling through their newsfeed, they're most likely doing it on a phone, okay? So they're on mobile. That's why the SmartLink is super important. And that image that I'm showing here, actually some of these screenshots are from our membership workflow tutorial, which I have a link for in one of these slides coming up here, that goes over that Facebook preview image and what shows up when you share the link. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. But that's just in a gist why I'm always saying, use the SmartLink. Any questions about that, let me know, and I'll get into it a little bit more. So now that you know what the SmartLink is, where to get it, and why it's super important to use it, and I want you to get in the habit of it, I want to talk a little bit about where and how to use it. And, some of the best practices when you're designing your app as well. We'll get into that. But first of all, where are you putting this and how exactly should you use it and things like that. So that's the episode 22s.com/live/108, where I went over this in detail. I think it was called optimizing your Facebook presence for organic reach. But you want to put this on your personal profile and your business page. We're talking just Facebook here, and I'll talk about a few more places where we also share this. On your personal profile, put that Smartlink in the description of your cover image, the description of your profile image, in your about section, in your info update, the little blurb at the top, all of those places that you can, on your personal profile, plug it everywhere, because this is your business, this is what you're doing. Pick the one Smartlink that's like your lead gen, or maybe your welcome app, or the one that leads to everything else, and share that one. On your business page, again, it's episode 108, goes into a lot more detail on these, but it's really important to I want to go through them a little bit more and just list them at least without too much of the detail. But that call to action button, I showed that earlier, that's number one. But your cover and your profile for your page too. You click on the cover and the pictures of your profile picture for the page and the cover image for the page. You can click on those and add a description, because if they do go to your page and they happen to be thumbing through and they tap on it, there'll be a link there that they can click. Plus, when you update your description on your cover photo, a story goes out to your fans with the new image and the new description. So that's a really good time to put a link in there and let people know what's going on. I also recommend creating a pinned post. I go into details on that in episode 108 and how to do that. But if anyone has questions, I can kind of go through that again. Again, this is kind of just a recap of the things I covered on that episode. I also went into putting that in your about section of your page, or on the page where it says, what's your website? For your business page on Facebook, there's a spot where you can put website, put your Smartlink there, because that shows up and that's crawled by the search engines. So I'm going to give a few examples. I'm not going to go into all the steps. This is one of the slides I used in that presentation. And this is examples of where you can use it on the business page. So if you click on your cover photo, you'll then see the option to add a description if you haven't added one. If you have, and the description's there, you can click on edit and then change the description. But you want to put your Smartlink in that description. And definitely don't forget the CTA button, the call to action button on your page. Remember how I said that's really prominent on mobile if people do visit your page. Click on the little button there and edit that to be a website link and put your Smartlink in there. Again, all the steps for that were in episode 108, so definitely check that out. Now, off of Facebook, there are other places that we talked about, and I'll give you a couple examples of some people who are doing this really well and don't even have page tabs on their page, but they're using their Smartlink in really cool places. So off of Facebook, some examples would be YouTube video descriptions. In fact, we did that today, so I'll even share that and I'll show you how we're doing that here. Your posts on other social platforms like Instagram or Pinterest, or even like your blogs or anything like that, whenever you're sharing a picture or some kind of post, in the description, you can always put a link to put your Smartlink to your app. In your email signature is another good one. If you use something like Stamp, which I used for years, but now I just use the Gmail is pretty cool. It now has you can build your own signatures and all that kind of cool stuff in there with links and stuff, or just simply sign off your name and put the link below it. That's easy peasy. But if you have that at the end of all of your emails, there's a chance someone might click on it to learn more, right? Another cool place, and I didn't talk about this in the 108 episode, so I'm going to show you an example of somebody who's doing this rather well, is when you have a free giveaway like a PDF, make sure somewhere in that PDF you have a call to action for them to learn more or take you up on your offer, and put a link to the Smartlink where you want to drive traffic based on that. So if it's a free guide on like the 5 steps to XYZ, and you have a course about that expands on those steps, then you can put on the last page to learn more. If you like these tips, go here to learn more. Another idea for linking in PDFs is a link back to where the PDF came from. You could send them to your free offer, your lead gen app, because if chances are you downloaded something, maybe you used a fake email and you have somebody's PDF, and then you share that with other people, or you forward it, or you reference it all the time. What if somebody shared with me a PDF about something they thought it was cool, like, hey, here's a really cool, PDF I downloaded, I thought you'd like it. I'm reading it. I have no idea where it came from. I didn't opt in for it. My friend did. But if I really like it and I want more, there should be somewhere on that PDF where someone who didn't originally get it can go and figure out where to download it from the source. I do that with like my privacy policy checklist at the bottom. I say, if this was forwarded to you from a friend and you'd like, the most recent version, go here. And it's a link to my Smartlink that gives people a free privacy policy checklist. So another good example, and I'll show you, I have an example of this too. I do the PDF example, and I'm going to show you an example of somebody who's they have a website. And even though they have a website, behind the buttons on their website, they're putting the smart links to the smart links of their apps on their website to drive traffic from their website to their landing pages. And if you're writing emails, or even if you're just writing a general email out of your Yahoo or Gmail or something, or you're sending it through a CRM or a newsletter autoresponder type thing, when you write in there and you're like, hey, thanks for this, and blah, if you'd like to check out more, click here. And you can link text in your emails. You can always link to your apps. And if you're using a program like an autoresponder program, an email newsletter, a CRM, they have a lot of tracking on that. So you can see which links are getting clicked and this and that, and follow up with your leads. So here are a couple use examples for these, what I'm talking about here. I know it's a little bit small, but this is just a screenshot of a website, fitright.physio. It's a website where she has a full website. She has, clients that she services in person. Of course, right now, everything's kind of moved online. But there's a section on there where it talks about online memberships. She actually has a couple, and they're all through 22 Social. She has a website. She runs through WordPress, but she chose 22 Social as her membership platform. And those buttons there on the site, when you click on them, they take you to the gate of the app for that membership. And like I said, she has more than one membership. So she links to it on the website. It talks about, she's got a little image and a button and some information. But we're doing really well tracking that, because I'm helping her track that with a little tracking code at the end of that link that lets us know how many of her leads to this membership or free offer or whatever are coming from that button on her website. If you have a website that gets a lot of traffic, put your links there. If you have a PDF that gets downloaded a lot, make sure you have a link to your Smartlink somewhere on that PDF. If you have, your email is really, cracking, that's where everybody's always getting a hold of you, or people are always replying or opening your emails. Make sure your links are in there. If you're using Messenger, wherever your audience is, that's where you want to put your links. And again, they're probably not visiting your Facebook page. Trust me on that. All right, here's an example of the PDF thing I was talking about. So this is a PDF. It's a free worksheet. Cheryl did a 3-part mini series where you got a worksheet and a video on these 3 different steps, which is just an intro to her program. But on every single PDF at the very bottom, and I know it's tiny here, but there's a little linked text in the footer of that says, find additional resources at. So if they like this and they want more of this, she sends them to the gate of her membership, her Empowering Women. So make sure you do that. And in your video descriptions too. I personally get a lot of traffic from YouTube, because I used to put all kinds of how-to videos. Even before I knew what 22 Social was, I went back and all my videos that get a lot of hits, and I put my Smartlink in the description of those. Always add that in the description. In fact, here's a screenshot that I took just this weekend. I was looking when I was getting ready for all of these slides of, what was this, episode 112? Yeah, so here's an example of, right now we're streaming live to YouTube, but this was a couple of weeks ago when we did episode 112. The link back to our main lead gen app for 22 Social, the 22s.com/dream that I'm sharing every week, is in the description of every video. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about using the above the fold. I'll tell you what that is, and I'll give you some examples. But in the description of the video, there's a link, and when they click it, they're going to go to the gate for the Dream Builder to get the free assessment and all the things, and learn more about 22 Social, enter into win or drawing. So Linda, that's the link. I'll mention it a little bit later, but 22s.com/dream. We share that. It's in the description of this video this live stream you're watching here on Facebook, if that's where you're watching us, but it's also in the description on YouTube and everything. So very, very, very creative ways and lots of places. So hopefully this is giving you some ideas. Definitely let me know in the comments. If you are thinking of places where, maybe I didn't mention it, there's so many places where you could use this, but think about where your traffic comes. Maybe Pinterest is a good source for you. Go back to your pins and start updating those descriptions with your SmartLink. If you have on Instagram, you're using something like Link in Profile or Linktree, those are really cool resources that allow you to add links to your bio. SmartLink, SmartLink, SmartLink. And you can have a different SmartLink for different things, right? All right. Some tips on how to use it, right? This is some best practices. I always recommend using the full link. So if you copy it, like from the little pop-up window where I showed at the beginning where to get your SmartLink, it just starts with www. It doesn't have the HTTP prefix. All of 22 social smart links are secure links, so you can definitely include the S there. I recommend doing that because then you don't have any problems with people seeing, an insecure site or something saying that insecure. It should be unsecure. Oh, the site's so insecure. But making sure that you have that, because you don't know if you just get in the habit of it, then you never have to worry about it. Like with Facebook, it used to be you had to put that in before your link or it wouldn't turn blue, right? Now, if you just put www, it works. And I think in some cases, even if you don't have the www and just have like mydomain.com, in some cases it will turn blue. But on YouTube, for example, I have to be very careful when I'm sharing this to also in the YouTube description, make sure I have that, because YouTube description links will not turn blue without the prefix. So I always say, just get in the habit of always putting it in your call to action button on your cover photo. When you put the link in there, if that's what you make your call to action, like your learn more button on your Facebook business page, it requires this prefix. You can't just put www. So get in the habit of that. The permanent, of course. Now you could also use the mobile smart link, and this really applies to more to people who don't have, like they have old links, or they want to take people off their Facebook page and they just want to take them to a nice clean app and you want to force that. You can use the mobile link. I wasn't planning on getting too much detail into that because I have another talk I do with that with my members. But if anyone's curious about that, most people want the tabs, right? But those of you who have the tabs and you want them off Facebook, like me, I've been doing that with the mobile link. That doesn't apply if you just use the regular smart link, because the smart link will turn into a mobile link on mobile and will show them desktop on desktop. So it's smart in that sense. So don't worry too much about that. But definitely get in the habit of using the SmartLink and make sure it's the permanent. If you don't, all else, if you can't decide which one to pick, permanent's your way to go. And then I mentioned a little bit earlier how I'll show you an example of this, placing it above the fold. And that's that's just jargon, right, for online marketing. It basically just means, how when you see a link or you see a description in a picture or even on YouTube or somewhere, and it doesn't show the whole thing, there's like a little see more, and you have to click see more to see the rest of the whatever the text is. That's an extra step people have to take. So I would recommend not making people work extra if they don't have to. Place it above that. So in the very first line, if you can, or the second line, but I wouldn't go past the second line. If you can get it right away, say, hey, this is where you can learn more about this. And then everything else you want to say can go underneath that. So profile covers, when you share a post in your about description of your pages or your Facebook groups, or even the preview post, right, of your apps. And I go over this in part 4 of the membership workflow. And that's at 22s.com/tutorial. /notes/tutorial. It'll show up in a minute because I have it on a few slides. But I go into using the link, using the using it in your group descriptions, making sure that you set up your preview image correctly and all of that in that episode. So definitely check that out. Or it's not an episode, it's actually a collection of episodes, but we put them all together in a nice little note. 22s.com/notes/tutorial. We'll cover things like giving you examples, use cases where we've used them in description, especially for memberships. So people are coming to your Facebook group and they don't realize it's like a paid, or they need to register because it's a free group, but you want them to register. In your description, you want that to be in there and you want it to be above the fold. And I show examples of that in that tutorial. All right. So this is kind of so the second point and the third point, they kind of morph together, but I wanted to just show you like different places of where you could use it and some tips on how to use it. But also when you're building out your app and you're getting ready to share your SmartLink, it's ready to go, it's published, and you're going to share it, you want to make sure that the app is set up to get you some traffic as well. And one of the great ways to do that, one of the most important ways, and I think I'm going to probably that section, the bulk of it is going to be on the preview post. So that's the post. There was a whole section, the tutorial on this in that workflow tutorial, to2s.com/notes/tutorial on this section alone, the preview post. And that's that first impression. I always say, think of that as your first impression. When that's what they see in the newsfeed, whether they're on mobile or desktop. When you share your SmartLink on Facebook in the newsfeed, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see an image with a title and a little snippet of your description, not the whole thing. If you share it as a post with a bunch of text and stuff, and I go over examples of this on the tutorial, then that goes with it too. And then you can get really descriptive in there. But make sure that you are not forgetting that, because a lot of people forget the preview post. And that's where people learn more first about your app to begin with. Remember at the beginning, I said they're not going to your page. Chances are they're going to learn about this awesome offer you have, or this free download, or your COVID-19 $1 the first month trial special on your membership this month. They're not going to be seeing that by going to your page or trying to find the tab on your page that has your app. So don't stress over that. Don't even send people there. Just make sure you're sharing it and you're putting that SmartLink everywhere you think traffic is going to be. And again, it's usually not your page. So like I said, that's your first impression. When they see that, that's what's going to get them to say, this looks interesting. Let me click on it. And then they're going to go to your app. Then they can read more about what you're offering. And that's where you want to put some great content. We have a really good resource. We talked a lot about that in that same link, the to2s.com/notes/tutorial, that same membership walkthrough. We go over gate copy, right? What to write on the app gate, like what to say there. And even if you're going to use video, like how to put the best video, what are some of the best practices? Renee and I both put our custom formulas, and we shared with you in that tutorial on a step-by-step formula of how to write your copy for the gate. But before they get there, they need to know it exists, and they're going to see it because they saw the post in the newsfeed or somebody shared a link with them. And you want to make sure that that grabs their attention. So that image and that title and a little bit of the description, you'll hear me say in the tutorial, the image is actually more important than anything, because if the image gets you, then you'll read what's below the image, right? You'll read the text. So make sure that grabs their attention. I'm going to throw this in here because a few people told me before this was really helpful. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want me to send this to you as an image, let me know. Just tag me and I will do that for you. But I'll leave it up so you guys can take a screenshot. To edit that, this is a step that a lot of people forget, is in your app when you're at the top. You've got it all figured out. You connected your CRM. You may have even added your pixel and you thought, oh, I did all this really cool thing. I've got my legal docs and everything's all set up. But we always forget. I always forget. And a lot of people, when I check, if I check it, if I'm doing an app audit and I check and they have it, I'm always surprised. And I give them a big kudos that they did not forget that part. But make sure, in your own little checklist, that you don't forget to update the preview image. Just click on the little preview. It says preview with the little Facebook icon. This window will pop up. You can add an image, title, description, and all of that. And again, I went into detail on this whole section. There's a whole section on this in that tutorial, that workflow tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples. I want to show you how we did I'm going to show you what I mean by the above the fold thing, but this is kind of a sum of best practices that I really want to make sure I discuss, but I really wanted to focus on that preview image with a few slides because that's the first impression, right? That and always using the SmartLink are probably the most important thing. But in addition to not forgetting your preview post and making sure you always use a SmartLink, you want to make sure you're adding it everywhere and thinking about where your traffic is. Because some of you, maybe you have a really active Facebook page, and I'll give you some examples. My next slide actually talks to people who actually really do have a prominent page, lots of activity, people are going there, or you're sending them people there every day because they have to do something on your page, like for a contest, and you're getting really good reach, great. But you're probably the exception to the rule. Most people are not. So you need to put this where it works for you. For FitRight, they get a lot of traffic on their website because they send a lot of people there with all of their events and things like that. Their website sends them to the app. With Cheryl, I showed you her PDF. She gets a lot of downloads on that PDF. So that PDF should send traffic to her offer where she's, offering that either another download or her course or something like that. Make sure you're using the full link. Some places allow it and some places don't. If you just get in the habit of always putting HTTPS in front of your Smartlink, then you'll never have to worry about, is it going to show up clickable or not? Off the top of my head, I know YouTube requires it. I know the call to action button on Facebook requires it. Now, placing it above the fold, I'm going to show you that after I maybe I'll show you that now. Let me pull that one up. So hopefully I still have it. All right, so here's, and I went in incognito so that you could see it because otherwise I'd be logged in as 22 Social and you'd see it. But this is episode 112, and we're actually streaming today's episodes in here too. But in the description, see how it says down here? Let me make this bigger if I can. So below the video, and not everybody reads the description, but especially if your video says, hey, check the description for links. I know, like if I'm looking up tutorials on how to do something or a new tool, or like my daughter's looking up art stuff and makeup tutorials and things like that. Usually the products they use, hair. That's one that I like when I'm trying to color my own hair. I've been looking at a lot of videos for that. They'll list the products in the description. So I'm always in the habit of looking at the description for more info. That's a really great place to put your link. And see how I just wrote 2 lines. And if I was really, really going to be good about this, I probably wouldn't even have the space here just in case, depending on the device. Because that's another thing. What if they have a really small device or they're they're on mobile, so it's not showing everything? If you can get it right at the top, that's probably better. I might even start switching this up to say this part first and then the rest of it. But my description, there's actually more. And see how it says show more? Like on descriptions of pictures on Facebook, you can see more. And you expand it, it'll show you a whole bunch more text. That's where you can put everything else you want to put in. And this is actually because I don't monitor comments on YouTube, so I want to send people to Facebook. So I always put that in at the bottom. But these links, they turn blue and they're clickable because I put HTTPS in front. And if I hadn't, they wouldn't look like that on YouTube. I know that just from experience. So just get in the habit of always using that. But this is what I mean by above the fold. This is the fold. See more, show more, and it'll have like ... in some cases. I have to click that to see more, and I may be lazy. Your viewers may not. Don't make them work if they don't have to. Put it right up at the top. So that's what I meant by that. Like you guys are liking these ideas. Good, awesome. I'll check for questions too. So one last thing for those of you who you already have the tabs, right? You're not in the group of us who either, like me, I don't want them. I may be in a rare group, but I'm trying to convince more and more people that they're actually not doing you any favors. You don't need the Facebook tabs. But for those of you who are using them very well, because you have a very engaged audience on your Facebook page, they're going to your page every day. And you have to really know that. Just because you're getting a lot of comments doesn't necessarily mean they're going to your page. I'm always commenting on stuff in my newsfeed, but I've never gone to those people's pages. However, if you know your page gets a lot of traffic and that's where your audience is, then here's kind of a, switch it over. Here's kind of a screenshot. And this is an old page. Hopefully the layout hasn't changed too much since the screenshot. It's from I think a year ago or so. But it kind of shows all of the pieces that I'm talking about. And I go into a lot of detail on this in episode 108. And I have my own video on YouTube that I link to in the description of that. I'll probably put it here too, on optimizing your page. It's longer though. It's like a 39-minute video on all of this stuff, this page right here, and like all these different sections. But putting that smart link in the description of both your profile picture and cover picture of the business page, adding the CTA button to or the link to your CTA button, so that learn more or watch video or shop now or whatever your button says, putting that as the link. You also want to pin your post to the top. Again, this is if you get a lot of traffic to the page. Otherwise, this doesn't help you They're only going to see the pin post if they're visiting your page. And again, think about how many times you go visit an actual business page. But to those of you who get a lot of traffic on your page, or that's your main like website and everybody goes there, do all of this, because these are the things that show up on mobile. Don't worry so much about the tabs. And also that's the about section and like where your website and stuff like that. It's over off to the side, but it does move around from time to time. So I don't know exactly where that will be on any given day, but the cover photo, the call to action button, and that pin post, that will show up on if somebody visits your site, whether it's desktop or mobile. The tabs, not so much, right? But if you have them, again, another tip is to label it appropriately and then drag it up to the top. And I go over how to do that in the video I keep referencing, which I'll link to here as well. But position those in the right place if you have the tabs. But again, don't worry if you don't have them. These don't even show up. And because most traffic is mobile, they're not going to see them. Don't stress over it. Like that's why I said tip number 2 is forget about the Facebook tabs. This is just if you have them and you wanted some advice. Those, if you remember how I said earlier, they don't show up, but that call to action button is. So again, they still have to go to your page. So let me know if you regularly visit pages, whether on desktop or mobile. Sometimes I forget what pages look like when I go to a mobile, because that image on the right is somebody's business page when somebody visits it. Either it's very similar. The mobile browser version and the Facebook app version aren't too different, but sometimes like, oh yeah, that's what it looks like, because we never go there. Let me know if I'm wrong, please, because I really don't think we go there. We go there as marketers, business owners, because we're always, underneath the hood. But if you're just scrolling, like take your marketer hat off and act like a user. You're just scrolling through your feed right before bed or first thing in the morning or whenever it is you do it. Chances are you're not visiting pages unless someone's telling you to go there. All right. So use that call to action button. It's visible on desktop and mobile, and on mobile, it's way more prominent than any of the other buttons. So definitely use it. And don't use it as the message me, because message me is already there right next to it. I don't know if you can see it right here. There's already there. And sometimes on desktop, it'll even have another button that says message our page. So don't waste your call to action button with a message our page. It's already going to be up there anyway. Make that your smart link. Make that your CTA. All right. Yeah, you can use your smart link anywhere. That's a really good question. I don't know if you highlighted this earlier, Renee. But yes, that's why I wanted to kind of get into this and talk about this, is because you don't think about these things, right? And so it's like, oh, that's right. And I get it all the time when I mention it to somebody, they don't realize that. So that's a very common response. I didn't think I could use it, or I didn't think to use it. And everybody's going to be different. For me, YouTube for a long time was a really great source. I used to post in the Facebook help section, because when I first started out as a marketer, 2011, 2012 on Facebook, actually I started way before that, but I started teaching Facebook for business back in 2011. And I would be in Facebook help all day, like Q&A sessions, sites, and Yahoo Answers and Ask Jeeves and Quora and all of those sites. Facebook help was my go-to, because that's where my audience was. And I would say, oh, here's how you do this. And then I put a link to my smart link if they wanted more info, or a link to whatever. Find your spot where your ideal audience, the people that are looking for the solutions that your offer offers, right? What that solution is, the people who have that problem, and your offer is the solution to that problem. Where are they looking for those answers? Show up there and make sure that you have that smart link following you. The reason I talk about in episode 108 about optimizing your profile and your page with these links is because when you're commenting in groups and all of these other places where you're interacting, if you make that, and I talk about this in the video, but if you make that your profile, like about me, your section, your workplace, and all of that, and you put the link there, it'll kind of follow you around everywhere. And somebody who doesn't know you but likes your answer may hover over your face and see that link and click it. So I do go into a little bit details on that. All right, cool. I'm glad you guys are liking this. Let me know, Renee, if there were questions that I didn't get to. I know we need to wrap up because we coming up on an hour here. So I'm going to check back in after I kind of go through our, we've probably got people here that are like, sounds good. How do I use the Smartlink? What is it? So definitely you need a Facebook business page, right? So it all starts with that. Facebook business pages are free. They're easy to set up. They're easy to manage. I always repeat this, but they're free. I love that word. And a lot of people use it as their online hub and sometimes use it as a replacement of their website. So if you're one of those people that gets a lot of traffic, they're great. But you don't need to have a pretty page and all that set up to use 22 Social. You just need to have a page, right? Because if you're going to install apps that create custom landing pages for free and paid content, they connect to your business page on the back end, right? You just need to have a business page in order to say who is the business that is creating this 22 Social page, this landing page. And that's it, really. It's not because you need to physically connect it, but if you do, you can use the tabs and all that if you wanted to. There are some restrictions on that. So that's why I tell people, don't worry so much about the tabs. Just make sure you have a business page so that you can install an app that's connected to it. Then you're going to get your nice Smartlink and you can share that, pin it to the top on your page, add it to your call to action button, all those things I talked about today and everywhere else, right? Email signatures, YouTube's, all of that. Every install is going to have that link. So you get it right away, even before you even publish. You just click Smartlink at the top or the little link icon and every app will have its own Smartlink, even before you publish it. So when you first install it, here's what our apps look like, pretty plain, but you go in, add your text, add your video, make it your own. There's lots and lots of customization available in the apps to match your branding, or you can put very simple, an image, some text, and a button. You don't have to get too crazy with it. You can create whatever you want. Facebook allows you to connect and install up to 15 of these per business page, which is plenty. Our standard plan, our annual account gives you you could do this to 3 pages. So if you wanted to, you create 45 app installs. Don't know what you need 45 for, but maybe you do. And they're all mobile ready. So that's why the Smartlink's pretty cool. Use that, then install in seconds, share it everywhere. And then if you wanted to protect your content to capture leads, right? You create this page, but you want to restrict the access to it. You can do that in 3 ways. Either with the free lead, like the PDF I mentioned earlier, get this free PDF and you give them some information and something to get them on your list, capture their information, a free video or some type of series, maybe run a contest. Or you can sell something. You can gate it and restrict access to a payment, a one-time payment for a coaching session or series of sessions, or maybe an online digital course or something you're selling digital, or set it up to get recurring payments. So in order to continue to have access to your content, whatever you're creating on this app or multiple apps, they have to pay a recurring payment, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. There's 5 or 6 different ways you could set that up. And you can set any price you want for that. We connect with PayPal and Stripe. So you don't even have to worry about credit card processing and all that. It's all integrated with free tools and other services you can use with your apps. So here's kind of a walkthrough of the whole thing from the Smartlink to they get all the way through. When you share that Smartlink, I had showed you earlier, that's the first impression, right? So here's an example of what that looks like when somebody sees it in the newsfeed. You want to get them to click it, right? It's got to be enticing enough. They click it. That's going to take them to your app. If your app is gated, which if you're going to collect leads or you want to sell something, it would be. On the gate, they will then have to click to either get free access with their login or paid access. They'll have to pay, right? They will click a button to say, yes, I want this thing, confirm their Facebook profile. This is really cool because it is the Facebook login. It's already built in. As long as they're on Facebook and logged in, that's who they are. They don't have to even put in an email if they wanted to. It's going to pre-fill that. They can change it. They can do all that, but it's all synced very easily. They check a box and click a button and they're in. Now they've logged in with Facebook and they get to see whatever you've created on the restricted side, the part that's protected either by a login for like leads or a payment. If they pay, they'll pay first and then they'll see this side. Once they pay or register, depending on how you have it set up, they have access. They can kind of scroll through whatever you created there. It could be lots of content. It could be a button that says, thanks for your payment. Click here to book with me, and a link to your calendar, right? Totally up to you what you create in there. they have access and you have collected a lead or a customer or a client or a member. Their Facebook profile is in your back office under the SRM tab, where you can easily manage all of your registrations, members, clients, whatever you call them. It's going to be different for every app. Name, email, all of that's in there. And what's really cool is for memberships, it also connects the payment profile to the actual user. So if it's a membership and they're paying, 10 or 20 bucks a month, they're paying you through, say, PayPal or Stripe, you don't have to figure out if the name that they paid with, their payment profile matches the name that they are on Facebook, because 22 Social acts as the glue between the two. One of my favorite features. And if you ever wanted to know more information about a particular member, if they did pay with PayPal, there's a cool little PayPal button here that takes you right to their profile. So no more guessing, no more like, is ABC LLC Sammy Jones or what? You'll know if you ever needed to. So these kinds of things are cool. We also have a 22 Social Connect Chrome extension, which I personally love, use it every day. It's a free extension. You do need the Chrome browser, but you install it with one click. If anyone is like first time hearing this, because I do go over this weekly, but if first time, let me know. I'll put a link to where I went over this in detail in the comments, how to use this thing. But here's a real quick flash through of how it works. You basically click start and it will turn your members' names, your Facebook group members or potential members, their names a certain color, and you will choose in your settings what colors which, whether they're active, inactive, or found, which makes it really easy to say yes to somebody wanting to join. If they're green, that means they registered or paid. And when they cancel, they will turn red. They will, you'll get a notification from PayPal or Stripe or whoever your processor that somebody canceled payments, but you don't have to wait for that email. If you're on Facebook and you're doing your weekly cleanup, I run this every week. I do it for my clients, and I love being able to just go red, boom, out, green, in. So it's really cool. But tools like this, and that, having that blueprint to guide you, you can have results that really let you live that dream lifestyle that we were talking about at the beginning, whatever that is for you. Will Irish is living his dream lifestyle, working from home, providing for his family. And this is an example of just one of his apps, what he gets from one of his apps. He wakes up to emails like this. He's chosen PayPal as his processor. So PayPal emails him saying, hey, you've got a new subscription payment. And wouldn't that be nice to see that every day? So I love seeing these. My clients love seeing these. We have a lot of people we've featured on here that, that's when, who doesn't love seeing this, right? We want this to be you. So if it's not, let's get you there. First step, I would say, is take the right action at the right time. So if you are, not ready to jump the gun, or you're not quite sure where to start, and you want a nice free resource that's going to tell you what to do when, check out the Dream Builder Self-Assessment. This is a 100% free resource that we want to make sure everyone's taking advantage of, because it's extremely important to take the right actions at the right time. We're all at different stages in our business. And so you'll fill out this assessment and you'll figure out where you are in your business and what the next step is for you to really accomplish your goal and, get you on the right path for wherever you are on your journey. So check that out. 22s.com/dream is where you can get the free assessment. You can also check out our Dream Builder bundle, which, remember at the beginning, I said these are all these little buckets of, the invite stage and the grow stage and nurturing and all of that. Each one of these is broken down into video modules in the Dream Builder Blueprint course. And that is included free with 1 year of 22 Social in our Super Saver bundle, which if you go to 22s.com/dream, you will be able to check that out, see what's all included. We even have a free trial you can set up there. You can also on that page enter to win this bundle, the course and the software. And that's what I think Linda was asking about earlier. Am I entered to win? How do I enter to win? Just go to 22s.com/dream and sign up. If you're not seeing the gate and you're already in, then you're already in. And every week you have your chances are in there. So you can increase your chances too by sharing the link to get your referral link. There's instructions at 22s.com/dream, and share that with other people. And that will increase your chances. So let's see who this week's winner is, right? Speaking of winning and increasing your chances. This week's lucky winner is Lori Snyder from Salt Lake City, Utah. Yay! Awesome, Lori. You just won our bundle. So you get the Dream Builder Bundle course, or Dream Builder Bundle with the course, Lifestyle Blueprint course, and a full year of the standard annual plan, which is unlimited members. It has all of the features. There's no restrictions on that. And you can connect up to 3 business pages if you wanted to on that plan. So congratulations, Lori. Message our page here at 22 Social up at the top, and we'll get you all hooked up with all the details. All right, let's see. Really good comments. Awesome, guys. Oh, and I did it in just about an hour. That's cool. I was talking like a chipmunk. Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at some of these questions. I know Renee's been helpful, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. But if I did, definitely check out, hey, Renee, check out 22s.com/dream if you're catching us on the replay too, because you can always ask in the group.
Someone's recognizing you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I love this stuff. I could talk all day about this stuff. I just, there's so many things you could do. I just wanted to give you a few tips on, forget the tabs. If there's anything you learned today, forget the tabs and get in the habit of using that Smartlink and put it everywhere. Everywhere. Yep. You'll see a big change in your business if you do. So
great. That was such awesome content.
Good. I'm glad.
It was all Monica, by the way. She put it all together. I won't take any of the credit. But glad it was perfectly timed. We get enough questions about some of the stuff may seem basic, some of the stuff is not, and some of the stuff we just forget to. We need to create a habit of being consistent with making sure we take advantage of as much organic traffic as we can get. I mean, it could really, especially if you get a lot of traffic, it could really change your numbers if you do that. So great. Thank you for going through all that. For sure, Monica.
Yeah, today was
cool. Yep, I loved it. A lot of good stuff. And we'll see you guys next week. I think we're ready to roll.
All right, guys.
I see you.
Yeah, 22s.com/dream. You go get all hooked up with everything, including our Facebook group. So if you have questions, you can ask there, whatever we didn't get to, or you guys, some people watch the replay and ask questions later. So
it's all good.
All right, guys.
We'll
take care.
Bye.